Moving on now, Indian farmers' unions have declined the government's proposition of guaranteed support prices for pulses, maize and cotton. However, the question remains, does the demand for a guaranteed MSP hold sufficient viability to address all of these underlying issues? Or are there additional factors that necessitate consideration? Take a look at our next report for more details on this.
The ongoing farm protests have brought renewed focus to minimum support price. But while Punjab and Haryana dominate the headlines, data reveals a more intricate picture. Madhya Pradesh has quietly emerged as the front-runner in wheat procurement, with 4.7 million farmers benefiting compared to Punjab's 4.4 million and Haryana's 3.7 million in 2016 to 2021. This shift is even more stark when considering the decline in Punjab's share, dropping from 41% in 2016 to 2017 to 24% in 2020 to 2021, while MPs rose from 26% to 37%. The story extends beyond wheat. In paddy procurement, traditional leaders like Punjab and Haryana are being outpaced by states like Chhattisgarh and Telangana. Odisha, for instance, has seen a 300% increase in marginal farmers selling paddy, indicating wider participation. This diversification highlights the need for Punjab to explore alternatives considering its stagnant agricultural growth, 1.61% compared to the national average of 3.5% between 2005 to 2015. Experts recommend moving beyond the wheat basket image and embracing high-value sectors like processing industries. The farmers are also looking for incentives to grow crops beyond wheat and paddy. Rajbir Singh, a farmer from Haryana, speaks of the added cost incurred by farmers.
In today's day and age, farming is a loss-making profession. The primary reason is an acute labor shortage. We can't work without labor. If we have to cut wheat, for example, we need a minimum of 4 to 5 people. For any process, we need a minimum of 10 to 15 people. We see an acute labor shortage. Labor usually comes from UP or Bihar, but those numbers are also fading. That means we have to increasingly depend on machines.
While MSP ensures a minimum income for farmers, its impact on consumers and overall economic viability cannot be ignored. Supporting these crops comes at a cost. In 2014 to 15, the government spent $12.7 billion. By 2022 to 23, this figure jumped to $27.4 billion. Economists predict a cost of $250 billion if MSP on all crops is implemented. The data reveals that FCI, responsible for government procurement, incurs losses when selling crops through open market sales scheme. For instance, the economic cost of wheat for FCI is almost 2,700 rupees per quintal, while the selling price through OMSS is 2,080 rupees. It's more drastic for rice, with a selling price of 2,250 rupees per quintal compared to the economic cost of over 3,700 rupees per quintal. The open market price is usually lower than the procurement cost, indicating losses. This also raises questions. Can MSP be more efficient? Are there alternative approaches to ensure farmer income security without burdening consumers? The debate continues to trigger conversations as the farmers' protest escalates. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
And now for more on this, we're being joined by Jayan Krishna, Chief Executive Officer, Foundation for Advancing Science and Technology, and former CEO of the UK India Business Council, live from Delhi. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, sir.
A pleasure.
Now, to begin with, beyond the protests, data reveals a nuanced picture of MSP across states. So what's your initial take on the regional disparities in MSP implementation?
Yeah, so actually, I think let's understand, MSP primarily benefits medium and large farmers, But in our country, almost 86% of the farmers are small and marginal farmers. They do not get benefited to that extent by MSP. And when you talk about regional disparity, let's compare two states, Punjab and Bihar, In Punjab, for example, 82% of all paddy farmers sell their paddy crop to, through the public procurement agencies, PPAs as they are called, and 68% of all farmers sell it at a price above MSP, So this is the states which are doing well in agriculture. That is the situation there. Look at Bihar. For example, only 8% of the farmers sell their produce to PPAs, which are the public procurement agencies. And as much as high as 83% of them, they sell it at a level below MSP. In the northeastern states, the situation is even worse than Bihar. So there's a huge amount of regional disparity, and therefore one doesn't really know how to address it, how to have a uniform MSP for all crops. It is not easy at all, because even if you look at the MS Swaminathan committee report, it talked about 1.5 times the cost of production should be the MSP. Farmers are also demanding 50% profit over cost of production. So I think it's a huge challenge that how does the government address this? When there's huge regional and statewide variations in the way MSP is availed of by the farmers.
Thank you so much for that comparative analysis, sir. Now, that being said, the government selling crops at a loss, that of course raises questions about MSP's economic viability. Are there alternative approaches to support farmer income without burdening consumers?
I would believe so. One simple reason is that MSP actually distorts, while it helps lots of farmers. But if you look at the overall economy, it distorts the, market forces. It disregards the demand supply situation. It leads to overproduction because of the comfort of selling everything at the, comfort the farmers get for selling products at MSP, and sometimes it may also lead to shortages of some other crops. So I think even if you look at the way government or their agencies, they procure and distribute, their inefficiency there. And also it leads to inequitable distribution of farmer wealth. As I said earlier, the big farmers benefit more, small and marginal ones do not get that kind of a benefit. And also the budgetary burden on government becomes huge if MSP is to be extended to all crops, what farmers have been demanding. So as regards your question that is there an alternative? I would believe so. A more market-led mechanism is better rather than all procurement for all crops to happen through MSP by the government and PPAs. I fundamentally believe, if you look at the 2020 bills which were introduced by Government of India, the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act was one. The Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Subsidies Act was second one. And the Essential Services Act, which the amendment one, which was promised, which was brought and even passed by the parliament in the year 2020, and finally those acts had to be repealed. I think I fundamentally believe in a mode of proactive communication and dialogue with the farmers. One could try to bring those acts back. Because fundamentally, that was a more market-led kind of an intervention for, as a substitute to MSP and so on and so forth. I would believe that although there was a lot of it was done in the COVID times, not with the best of consultation with the farmers. I believe, in a spirit of partnership, the government and farmers should talk, and because those are market-led mechanisms which will do a lot of good to farmers eventually.
All right. Well, Mr. Jayant Krishna, thank you so much for joining us on A World Business Watch with your insights on this.
Thank you.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.